Do we have anyone on?
No, ma'am.
I'd like to call the meeting to order for February 9th, 2021. Would you please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Would you please join in pledge of allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Paula is still absent due to an illness, so I will do roll call. Trustee Sheets.
Here.
Trustee Hunter here. Trustee Good.
Here.
And we'll move on. We do not have any minutes to approve. We have our expenditures, so I will make a motion to pay our expenditures. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
And our deputy is here now just on the 4th Tuesdays of the month. But over the weekend, I received a video from the area of Rebel Road, Rob Roy, and Gardner Road of at least 4 dirt bikes and 4-wheelers speeding up and down Gardner and Rebel and Rob Roy. And I passed the video on to Deputy Carter. So, and then I also received a complaint from someone on Gardner Road complaining about disturbing gunshots being discharged behind their homes along Little Darby that meets up with the park property. This would be on the west side of Gardner Road, near the county line. I sent these dirt bikes appear to go from the area of Rebel and Rockroy to a blue house on Gardner Road, back and forth at high speeds. So I had some information, the facts from the Sheriff's Department that I passed on to her, and an article about discharging firearms that was in the Messenger a couple years ago that happened in Norwich. And then I offered for the township to host a neighborhood meeting for all the neighbors because they're all complaining. And the meeting would be led by the Franklin County Sheriff's Office Community Relations Department. So the neighbors are going to discuss it, this option, and get back to them. So, anything else Sheriff's Department related? Okay, we'll go on to Road Department. Robert?
Well, pretty much since the last meeting, our whole thing has been pretty much snow and ice related. Between being out there plowing roads, doing equipment maintenance, and stockpiling salt. During our previous storm, truck 21 blew a tire, and they were old enough that they didn't have very much tread, so we purchased 4 new tires for that truck. And then about 2 days later, truck 22 blew a tire when we were hauling salt from the county. I'm in the process of trying to find a used tire for it because those tires are still have some decent life left in them. When we took it down to put the spare on at the Wilson's, they said it looked like he just ran over something just right, and that's what caused that tire failure. And then just as a side note, I got counting up in the 2019 to 2020 snow season, we were out a total of 12 times. So far for 2020 and 2021, we've been out 19 times. we still got a little bit to go, so.
Sounds like you'll be out a lot the rest of this
We'll
week.
have to see what happens after that, so. But that's all I have for you guys.
I want to make mention that the road crew has done an exceptional job of keeping the roads clean. I know they worked a lot harder hours.
Thank you.
And I would like to thank Robert for his help this morning on our little mishap in the driveway on Harrisburg Court. Much needed.
Agreed, thank you. You guys have done a great job. This whole season has
Thank
been
you.
noticeably better than others.
Okay, now we'll go on to Chief.
So this morning we had EMS run up on Harrisburg, Georgesville, back a long lane, down a hill, up a hill, down a hill, back up a hill, probably 1,500 feet off the road anyway. And the medic was not able to come back up the hill when it left the house, so we had to take the second medic up there, transfer the patient to the second medic, and Robert had to help us get out of that situation, so I appreciate his help. We were able to take the brush truck up there and pull with the winch, and then use Robert's truck as an anchor to help the medic get up the hill. It didn't get buried or anything. There's no damage to any of the vehicles or the property. It just was not able to climb a hill because of the ice. So. We have 105 runs for January to date. As of this morning, before we ran a few runs today, we were at 41 for the month of February. You guys know about the proposal we received from Pierce for the additional work. Ed and I had a little conversation about that before the meeting, and he's in contact with Pierce about that. So we'll hopefully have some positive movement on that. You guys know about the house fire we had on Darby Boulevard. The cause is still currently under investigation. There were no injuries. We did evaluate a neighbor and one of the homeowners or one of the occupants of the house just for minor injuries, but they weren't transported, so there's considered no injuries. Crews will be participating in a training fire in Jackson on Hooper Road on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. We'll be rotating our crews over for training. There'll always be somebody here in a township available. So the high-vis parkas that were ordered as part of the CARES funding have arrived and are being issued at this point. And the turnout gear is expected to be delivered tomorrow. So that'll almost finish up all our CARES Act purchases that we made. The only thing that's outstanding at this point is the medication vending machine, for lack of better terms. And that is, I believe, being built at this point. We've sent them several pieces of information, so I'm anticipating delivery here in the next several weeks.
What did you say before the turnout gear?
The high-vis parkas, the coats, the lime green coat, that it's the sensor, Robert.
I know how to take it up. I can do it after the meeting. There's like a plug you have to unplug.
Yeah, the lime green high-vis parkas that we ordered. So those have all been delivered. Robert, yours are, I don't know, I'm sure they told you. Okay. Yeah, they sewed the fire department patch on the road department coach, so we sent them back to Main Street to have them embroidered appropriately. Not that I mind that Robert represents the fire department, because I think you do it well, but it could be a little misrepresentation to somebody who needs the fire department and expects us to show up and not a road crew. So I do have a couple of requests tonight. The first would be I would request a resolution to hire Mario D'Amico as a part-time firefighter paramedic pending a result of pre-employment drug screen and driving abstract. Mario is full-time in Scioto Township and wants to work for us part-time.
Okay, I will make resolution 19 to hire Mario D'Amico as a part-time firefighter paramedic pending driving abstract and drug screening. Have a second.
Second.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good?
That was resolution 19.
Yes.
And the only other request will be the executive session afterwards to discuss the full-time position.
Okay.
Currently, there's 79,168 active cases of coronavirus in the state of Ohio as of today, with a positivity rate of 6.4%. We have 8,278 active cases here in Franklin County, and we remain in the red. We won't come out of the red until our cases come down below 100 per 100,000. So we're at like 414 or something like that right now. So That's all I have. Do you guys have anything for me?
No.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Couple things. I
Sure.
can expand on that conversation that I had with Pierce a little bit, so it's on record. I spoke with Mr. Al Bauschle. He's handling the refurb, the frame rail replacement on Township's dash bumper. And there was a number of line items that he gave prices on for that needed repairs over and beyond the initial estimate. The number one, first thing, due to rust jacking from the filter brackets, both torsion bars were damaged. I got him to completely forget that. That's not thought right out of the get-go. Back a year or so ago, when the chief and I met with Mr. Ryan from Pierce, he told us in the chief's office in a meeting that while they had the truck and had it apart, that anything that they did to that vehicle would be at their cost to us. And Mr. Ryan is no longer with Pierce Company. And this Al Bauschle was completely unaware of that statement, and that the items on this list that we got are just retail price. And he said it was above his pay grade to make any decisions. But he said if Mr. Ryan told you that, he said it's not out of the realm for Pierce to stand behind that. So I'm waiting on a call back from him. He said it would be in the next couple of days. That's all I have on that matter. Another thing that I had with all the salt and snow and stuff, how's that new undercarriage cleaner?
As far as I know, it's working well. I haven't got a report from Aaron recently, but as far as I know, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, so.
How many times has it been used this year?
So are you talking about the application we had applied to it, or
No.
are you talking about the
power wash?
the power washer? I believe they're doing it about once a week. They're spraying underneath the trucks.
That's something that you probably.
If we'd be allowed to use that.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that
Yeah.
would be very advantageous to you guys.
Yeah, just let us know. We'll pull the engine out. You guys can pull right in the bay. We've got the undercarriage sprayer, and you guys can do whatever you need to do the truck. Absolutely.
Yeah, that I know truck 21's had 2 oil pans on it already. So,
In
Well,
between
and-
snows.
Would there be any value that undercoating that we're getting put on in conjunction with Prairie and West Jeff? Would there be any value doing the road department vehicles?
Probably.
Okay, next year we'll include you in that as well. It's not terribly expensive. I think total it was $1,600, and we did the engine, the tanker, and one of the medics, because the other medic's leaving, so we didn't do that one. And it was like, it was like $1,200. It's like $300 or $400 a vehicle. Yours will probably be a little less expensive because, yeah, I mean, they're just shorter, smaller, less to cling to, that sort of
It's
thing.
easier
So,
to get to, but they can raise a bed and you're right there in
Yeah.
the frame.
so, but yeah, I mean, next year we'll definitely let you know when we're doing it. It's usually, I think it was late October we had it done.
I think it was here to take it somewhere.
So we take it over to that old state garage or wherever it is there in Jefferson Township.
Okay.
That's where they're doing all of them. So Prairie takes their vehicles there, Jefferson takes their vehicles there, we bring our vehicles there, and they spray everything right there for us. So they only have to make a mess in one place.
Great.
Yeah, I'll let them know next year.
And then the only thing I'd like to know how many times we've used that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep,
That's
sure.
all I have.
Hey, under old business, we received an email from the firefighters union negotiating team requesting available dates to meet again to further discuss negotiations. The units are best for them, but they think anything else. So
I'm
I am too.
Pretty much.
You want to pass that on to them, chief? To pick a date?
Pick some dates and give them to you. I will do that.
Yeah.
Hey, any other old business? New business?
I reached out to Jim Organ this week, when it's about time to start thinking about our next insurance policy. He suggested to go ahead and get started early with the form fire. I asked him what it would be to just renew what we currently have and not make any changes. He didn't know, got back to me today and said that they came in with a 5.4% increase, which I think is actually pretty phenomenal. That's pretty low for an increase. So if we want to avoid going through all the hoops of getting new quotes, we can just stick with what we have and it would be seamless with a 5.4% increase.
My vote would be to stay with what we got,
I would recommend the same thing.
not jump through the hoops.
Yeah, I mean, we've changed every year since we left the OPEC, and everybody's been very, very good with working with us and getting through that, but I think 5.4% is worth sticking with what we have and everybody's become familiar with now, so.
Make that a resolution?
Resolution number 20 to continue with our current insurance provider for another year at a 5.4% increase.
I'll second that.
Roll call, trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Hunter, yes, trustee Good,
Yes.
okay. Under announcements, I received a message from Mary Long at Swaco. She said there was good news, local measured Pleasant Township's participation rate last week, and it was 64% for recycling. That was up 13% from December, and the tonnage was up 14% from the same time period. So she said that was really good.
There's those new recycling carts for an increase as far as the amount of tonnage that we're getting in recycled.
Yes. And with the exact breakdown, if who wants to see that. How many, we had 1,812 active people.
That's great.
Okay, any other announcements? Anything else? Covered everything. We're ready to go in executive session. Did you want an executive session?
Mine will be real quick. It's either gonna be a yes or no answer from you guys.
And I move to go in executive session according to Ohio Revised Code section 121.22 G1 for the purpose of discussing hiring a full-time firefighter and personnel issues. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets? Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good?
Yes.
Under the Ohio Revised Code section 121.22G, I move to come out of executive session. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets?
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good?
Yes.
I would like to make resolution 21 to increase the road department compensation time to 160 hours from the current 120 hours. And a cash-in time, the maximum to cash in will remain at 120 hours. Do I have a second?
A second.
Roll call, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
I would like to make resolution 22 to make the next full-time firefighter at Pleasant Township, Paul Shamball, starting at step 1 pay per the union contract, credit him with 50% of his unused sick time from Franklin Township, effective date of February 22nd, with 1 year probation. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call. Trustee Sheets, yes. Trustee Hunter,
Yes.
trustee Good,
Yes.
resolution passed. Congratulations to both.
Can you give us a small speech or something?
Favorite color?
Blue.
Did you polish those shoes with a Hershey bar?
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call, trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Hunter, yes. Trustee Good.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned at 8:05.